Sound like some Viking music, don't it?
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud, gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go, let's go.
Shooting, lights out.
Well. Good afternoon, good people. How y'all doing today on this third, should I say, of the 6 month? We halfway through the year already. We are at the 6th month of the year already. And today is going to be different. Yes, I'm talking basketball, but I'm talking WNBA basketball because I'll be talking NBA a little later on in the week because there's only one series left in the NBA, which is the NBA Finals. But I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the WNBA today. And those of you who are new to the program, I am the Playmaker down there, silencing of the Playmakers Blog Sports Network. And now thank you for watching. If you're on Facebook, X, YouTube, even LinkedIn, thank you for tuning in. But before I get to the WNBA stuff, I got some news and notes from around the hardwood. All right, and to begin our around our hardwood segment, let's start off in the NBA because Mike Brown has a deal done with the Sacramento Kings. Okay, Mike Brown has a deal set. He gets an extension. It says he gets $4.5 million raise on his 2024-25 contract and the 2 new seasons at $8.5 million. So he'll be the Sacramento Kings coach through the 2026-2024 season, which is a very good thing for the Sacramento Kings. What he has done with that franchise and changing things up, making that team something to watch. The Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, you got the Domantas Sabonis, you know. The Kings are coming. The Kings, you know, they was a 3rd seed last year. Ultimately got knocked out in the first round by the Golden State Warriors in an epic 7-game series. This year they were play-in bound, you know, not as a good season, you know. But things it frustrates. But I love where the Kings are at. I love what they're building. So for Mac Brown to get a contract extension, I am happy with. I want to continue to see how he and the Sacramento Kings continue to grow and get better and make themselves a known commodity, a known threat in the Western Conference. Okay. Going to our next news and notes here, we have the Detroit Pistons and Troy Weaver out as general manager amongst Pistons shakeup. The Detroit Pistons, they are shaking up the front office. They might be shaking up the coaching staff. We don't know yet, but this is just the beginning. And before I continue on, my big brother has decided to join me today. He's the man who is in charge of the sports arena. Catch him tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Him, Mike Caratanudo. You might see the sportsman without pay where he land on there. You might even see the Queen of Who's Megan Price on there. I don't know. But my big brother, big Philadelphia sports fan, Eric Wilson. What's up, bro?
What's good, family? How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm doing some hardwood notes before I just talk all in WNBA because I don't got to worry about the finals till Thursday. So,
yeah, you know, we pretty much knew what was going to happen when the Western Conference Finals started. But, man, I'm going to let you handle your business, man. When you start talking W, then, you know, let Big Bro know what time it is. But go ahead and do your thing, bro.
I got you. Anything that you want to say about the Detroit Pistons? They pretty much Omaha in the front office right now. We don't know what they're going to do with the coaching. Coaches might be next. We don't know.
Listen, Detroit's just one of them teams, man, that, you know, every year we want and we hope that they will do something different. But it's just become they are going to be one of those teams where until their in-house is taken care of and they focus on the fundamentals, not only of the game, but effectively running an organization that's going to be successful and profitable, Detroit's just going to be Detroit.
And I love their roster.
I know.
I love their roster.
It's just, listen, man, it's about finding a way of putting the right people in the right places. But for Detroit, the Pistons, everybody is still holding on to the bad boys of the Pistons, or the days when they had Rasheed Wallace and Chauncey Billups and Big Ben. And, we got to find that new era of Pistons, and we haven't seen it yet. Hopefully, this new roster, led by the right coach and right general manager, can put Detroit back in that Eastern playoff conversation. But it's just not there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Before you came on, I talked about Mike Brown getting his contract extended for the Sacramento Kings. I love it because I'm looking forward to seeing how more can they grow and build with this new Sacramento Kings team. How you feel?
Well, the Western Conference is truly going to be shook up, man. For years, what was the Western Conference? It was the Golden State Warriors, the Los Angeles Lakers, maybe at one time or another, the Houston Rockets, and then, kind of everybody else. And now we're seeing, huh?
Got to throw the Spurs in there too.
Listen, nothing takes away from what Pop has done with that organization. Okay, but in the last couple of years, what has San Antonio done? Now with having Wembanyama, hopefully that has turned the page. But predominantly, when we looked at the Western Conference, it was the Golden State Warriors, Lakers. You could throw the Nuggets in there. I mean, listen, I could go down the list, but predominantly it's who we always focused on. It was the champs. Well, now that we're possibly seeing them dissolving, the big three of Steph, Clay, and Draymond not being together, and the emergence of Minnesota, the emergence of OKC, Denver being the champions. Well, up until the NBA Finals of this year, we will crown a new champion. It stands to reason that Sacramento right now is primed to be a team that we are going to be talking about with regards to the Western Conference and the postseason.
Speaking of NBA Finals, Kristaps Porzingis is on track to be back for Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
He needs to be.
So I'm gonna talk about the finals on Wednesday. Just so y'all know. So, big bro, Porzingis on track for the NBA Finals. Does that help Boston?
Of course it does. He's needed. He's needed to make this finals exactly what Boston wants it to be, and that's we gonna take this championship, and we are going to become the team that has now 19 NBA championships. Because they've been tied with the Lakers for how long? 18-18. For how long? Someone got to come up and say, no, we at the top of that list. And I think Boston this year, it's going to be done. The bringing Kristaps Porzingis back into the mix is going to be pivotal, because I don't think there's anybody on the Mavericks team that's going to be able to stop him from getting those boards and being effective in the paint.
I would say this. Coaching Kristaps being back adds another storyline to this finals, just to let y'all know. Just adds another storyline, just let you know. Now, let's get to the WNBA, because there is some news in the WNBA that I got to address. We probably going to address it in the next segment too, but I got to go here. Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky were fined for breaking the WNBA's rules of media availability following their Saturday's loss to the Indiana Fever. I would dive deeply tonight in that game in our next segment, but they fined Angel Reese $1,000. They fined the Sky $5,000. As a man who has covered the Chicago Sky, your thoughts on
as a man who is covering this league, and yes, as a man who initially, when I started covering the Chicago Sky were the first team that gave me the opportunity to show what I could do for them. I have no problem with this. This is the rules that the WNBA put in place. Angel Reese, someone who is very vocal, whether it be on or off the court, you knew that this was part of your contract. You knew that this was what the league expected of you. Win or lose, if your name is on that list to address the media, it is your job to then do such. By Chicago and Coach Teresa Witherspoon not allowing that to happen, what that does is, and I try to look at both sides. I honestly do. However, in this case, what I'm saying is everybody knew what was in the handbook, what was in the guidelines, what was in the bylaws, okay? When it comes to addressing the media, and we've seen it all the time, coaches don't want to do it. Players don't want to do it. If all Angel Reese did was get up there and say, I'm just here so I don't get fined, like Marshawn Lynch. I mean, she could have done that. You know what I'm saying? But to blatantly just not show up, well, these are the repercussions. You now have to pay a fine. And whatever reason the organization, from the president to the general manager to the coach on down, are saying why they did not but why they have basically stood by their player to say, well, if she doesn't want to speak, she doesn't have to speak. Well, no. The rule is after every game, after practices, because you and I have been on these Zoom calls, it says head coach and 2 key players will be made available for the media. Well, guess what? Angel Reese, it's your turn. So now you have to come to the podium. You have to sit in there and you have to answer these questions. That's what it is.
And here's another thing I think most people probably don't know. Even if you're not going into the press room after the game, you still have to be available for in-person interviews.
Exactly.
Outside the locker room.
Yep.
You might not be in front of the media room where most of the medias are at, talking to whoever the 2 players and the coach is going to be in there, but you still have to be available regardless. Right. So it looks bad, especially after what happened in Indiana. I will get to that in a bit because we're going to take our first break because that's late for Around the Hardwood. And when we come back, there's a lot to talk about in the W. What took place this weekend? Whew, I can't wait because it's going to be fun. We'll be back.
The largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant. Weather. Devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States. Inspiration. A breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network proudly presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday morning beginning April 29th at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Into the Net FC.
Kylian Mbappe just all of a sudden finally understood his role, and I think he finally understood that everything Kylian Mbappe has accomplished already, you know, there is still a hell of a lot waiting for him in the future. Kylian Mbappe is only 24 years old. He has accomplished so much, and you know what? Kylian Mbappe has not even reached his prime.
Finally seeing, the Marcus Rashford we have been hoping for such a long time,
But this game, after everything Manchester United has been doing lately, this was actually the ultimate test, to see if Manchester United, honestly, was all of a sudden for real.
I explain this. The United States, maybe they have to suffer this loss as a lesson to learn to prepare for the future. Because 4 years from now, the World Cup is in not one, not two, but 3 countries. The United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. Into the Net FC is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Shop hats and official sports gear at Lids. Lids is the leader and #1 destination for hats, gears, and everything that moves you, making it the perfect shop for fans to find official sports hats, merchandise, and gear. Represent your team, your town, and your style with a snapback adjustable fitted hat or beanie from thousands of college and pro teams. Browse the very latest sports jerseys and t-shirts from the best teams out there. Lids has officially licensed professional and college sport team apparel and hats featuring the hottest brands and trends. Shop online or visit one of the 100 stores across the country. Locker Rooms by Lids.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Welcome back to Showing the Lights Out, ladies and gentlemen, with my baby bro, Eric Wilson in the building. Programming note. This is the first of 3 episodes I'm doing today. I'll be joining the aforementioned Cool McCain in about 3 hours and some change to talk wrestling for Monitor Wrestling. And then me and Cool McCain will be jumping over with our good buddy Drew Willingham to do In and Out Sports today. So tonight should be fun for me.
Lord, brother, I thought I was busy. You the working horse over here, bro.
Hey, this is what I'm doing, all right? So,
hey, man, before we start this, I just want to, because I looked it up during the break, man. So we were talking about the media availability guidelines, right?
Yeah.
And I just pulled this up. So I want to read it verbatim for you, okay? For pre-games, okay? The head coach participates in the press conference an hour and 45 minutes before tip-off, all right? Players from both teams will be available for up to 15 minutes for in-person media availability on the court, all right? Post-game. Basically what we were talking about before with Angel Reese. The head coach and 2 key players will participate in the post-game press conference in the media interview room. This will be a joint in-person and Zoom media session. In-person media, let me just make sure I'm reading this correctly. In-person media only can request additional players for interviews through the team PR These interviews will take place in a designated location close to each team's locker room, which means if you ain't going to show up for the post-game press conference and someone wants to speak to you close to the locker room, it is up to the PR person. So I just go back to, we're going all the way down to the public relations manager to make that decision and say, well, so-and-so from, and I'll just use this person because I know her with regard to Chicago, okay? If Annie Constable from the Chicago Sun-Times wants to speak to Angel Reese, I'm pretty sure that the PR person is going to go to Angel and say, hey, Annie would like to talk to you. If Angel still says no and doesn't show up, guess what? You done made that conscious choice. The league is then going to fine you. Okay? So I'm just going to leave it at that. They both got fined. She got fined. The team got fined. Guess what? That was their choice. You just lost $6,000, Chicago Sky.
Thank you for that. This is why he's my big brother. I learned from him. So, speaking of WNBA, let's get to it because I'm going to recap the weekend beginner from Friday, the last day of May, and we had 4 games on the docket, as you can see here. And to begin, we're going to the state of New York, Barclays Center, New York Liberty taking on the Washington Mystics. And I have said this ever since the season started, and it's just going to be the theme for the Washington Mystics. I don't know what y'all can do. I really don't. I just don't know. Y'all, like, you didn't resign Natasha Cloud. You let her go to Phoenix.
Yep.
And then Landon Delgado said she need a break.
Yep.
She need y'all have no star players.
Oh, wait. Hold on now. Ariel Atkins, she a dog now. You can't throw her out there. And listen,
I said star,
Big Mama Steph, Stephanie Dolson, she's a champion. Granted, she only had 2 points, but they're gonna have up and down games. But listen, Sandy Brondello and the New York Liberty, that's just damn near greatness on the court when you've got Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Courtney Vandersloot. You got Benijah Laney Hamilton. Oh, you got Jonquel Jones. Like, come on, man. I get it. Only 144 women get to be a part of this league, and essentially, in some way, they're all-stars. But to put that group together on the court, man, cut it out, man.
I'm not just talking about this game. I'm talking about the overall. They 0-8. They're the only team that hasn't won a game. All 8 games won against the Liberty.
But again, my brother, it's a lot of these scores. You and I will watch this whole game, and sometimes these scores are not indicative of what actually happens. And yes, I get it. 0-8, you in last place right now. You haven't won a game at home or on the road. But again, this is a team, the Washington Mystics, that when they find it, oh, believe you me, they're going to go on a tear. They just have to find it.
You only got 32 games left.
I know a quarter of the season is almost gone. I know that. I get it.
They need to find something. And I'm the one that says, Aaliyah Edwards, you might be in the worst position out of all the rookies. Because it's gonna be a trying year in the capital. That's basically what my point is. It's gonna be a trying year in the capital.
But she's still gonna be her, Atkins. They still gonna be them dogs, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, we ain't got dogs. I know that. It's that one team for this year that's y'all don't have it.
Okay.
Y'all don't have it.
Okay. Well, I can say the same thing about Indiana, which I know we're gonna get to.
Oh, we definitely gonna get to that. We definitely gonna get to that. I can't wait to that. A surprising result Friday night.
Ain't no surprise.
I did not expect the Dream to knock off the champs.
Come on now. Listen, the Aces are the back-to-back two-time champs. I get it. They're going for the three-peat. I get all that. But you have to know when you come to the ATL, and you closer to the ATL than I am, my brother, you already know you can't come into somebody else's house chanting Asia like that. The Dream took that personally. Ryan Howard.
That part I didn't know. So, yes, now I understand why. That the last part I didn't know. But I'm just saying. I'm like, yeah. The Dream, I like the Dream team. I'm just like, there is the champs, though. Like,
I get that.
How do you beat them?
You find a way. How many times have we said that about the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs? How did this team find a way to beat them on this day? Any given, we say Sunday for football, but
any given night.
The Aces can get it.
And one of my favorite prayers on a Dream, Alicia Gray went in with 24 points.
Yes. Because she understood the assignment. Ryan Howard has 16. Cheyenne Parker, look at she's a defense. Look, there's not enough people who talk about Cheyenne Parker. Excuse me. And I saw her play in Chicago. She brought that same energy into Atlanta. And Atlanta is such a great fit for her because she's got that grit about her. And then you throw in Tina Charles.
Yeah, that's my thing. Tina Charles and Cheyenne only scored 7 points and gave you 8 rebounds each, and you were still able to beat the champs.
Right. Like, imagine if they were on.
That's just... You can't tell me, Cheyenne Parker and Tina Charles are going to combine for 14 points, 60 rebounds. But like, who are they playing? The champs. That's a tough call because you're talking about champs. It actually happened. Has Haley Jones become a point guard for them?
I believe she has. I think as the season progresses, we're going to see more of that.
Because my thing is like, that's not the Haley Jones that I've seen at Stanford.
Everybody's making that change. Everybody's making
but it's working. They 4-2. It's working.
Saying, everybody, listen, you adjust, you evolve, especially in this league. Ain't no time to be wasted. You can't rest on what you did in college. You going from girls to women like that. Think about it like this, man. The WNBA draft pretty much is, let's just say 2 to 3 weeks after March Madness is over. Okay?
Yep.
Almost a month
before
from the time you are drafted, the start of the season. Okay? NFL, these young men got drafted the end of April. They got all the way till September.
Yep.
So
it
is a very quick turnaround.
It really is a quick turnaround for the women.
Yeah.
When you shoot 50% from 3 at home, you should win. When you can shoot like that at home, you should win because lately ain't been a lot of home teams that can been hitting their 3-pointers. As those who've been following me when I've been covering the WNBA. And that brings us to the lone unbeaten team in the W, the Kinetic Sun.
Best defense in the league. DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas. Boy.
Look, that's not the problem for me. Brianna Jones is getting her footing back. Oh, my gosh. Oh, boy. They bit 3 is on one. And I've been trying to tell people, see, this is what happens. See, a lot of people talking, hyping up Kate McCall, and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Did y'all not see the schedule? They playing the third best team out the gate. Ain't lucky, no, that's just the first game Brianna Jones came back from a Achilles injury. She's back. To add with Thomas and Bonner. Oh, Lord have mercy. As a Liberty fan, I am scared right now.
But here's the thing about Connecticut. Connecticut is always that team that people don't talk about. But every year,
I don't know why. They
in the top 4.
They get the Miami Heat treatment.
Every year, if you look at their rankings, come the end of the regular season, Connecticut is always within the top 4. Always. They've either been 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's just who they are. But yet, the attention and the focus is not on them. And they're like, we don't care. We just going to do what we do. And every year, we're going to be back in the playoffs. And we're going to show y'all. You come up in Mohegan Sun, boy, hey, it's no joke. It is truly that energy in that arena, bruh. I'm telling you, I've watched them up close.
I've been trying to school people about the Connecticut Sun, but they don't want to listen to me.
No, they don't. And guess what? That's the way Connecticut likes it. You don't want, you know what? That's fine. Don't pay attention to us. Go focus on Caitlin Clark. Go focus on the Aces. Go focus on the Liberty. Go focus on the Sky with Angel Reese. Don't worry about us. We good doing what we do. We gonna see y'all come postseason.
I don't want to see them come postseason.
No one wants to.
The only reason why we got by there because they ain't had the one about them. If they would have had Breonna Jones, oh my, that would have been a tough series to get out of. Yeah, it was tough.
And Jonquel used to be on that squad, and she in New York.
She was
right
the
now.
MVP of that squad.
I know. I'll tell you what though, Dejanay Carrington, yeah, y'all need to pay attention to that little point guard right there.
Oh, people paying attention because she was the first one up against Caitlin Clark.
But she definitely made a name for herself opening night. No question about it.
And people had to realize, wait a minute, this is different.
Yeah. Yep.
Y'all mess around. I see. That's why all of a sudden you hear the Pat McAfee's like, wait a minute, this our fault. We didn't do our homework. Of course y'all didn't do y'all homework. If y'all looked at the schedule, y'all would know something. And then finally for game 5, for games on Friday, the Lynx, boy. Ooh, the Lynx. Oh boy.
Man, why you bring this one up, dog? You trying to hurt my feelings right now?
Hey, I ain't trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just saying.
Oh,
the Minnesota Lynx.
Hey.
If you're in the West, you might want to have one eye open over in the Twin Cities right now.
Hey, Coach Reeves, one of the nicest coaches ever. But when it comes to her basketball acumen, boy, she just has this team truly on a different level. Look at this. I mean, Nephisa's had 14 points.
Williams at 11. And they still won by 24 points.
Right. Kalia gonna get hers. Diana gonna get hers. Cunningham gonna get hers. You know what I'm saying? But goodness gracious.
How long is Brittany Griner out? I need to know that.
There's a possibility we may see her after the Olympic break.
After the Olympic break. So if the Mercury can stay level-headed.
I mean, they got a lot, but they got so much energy on that team right now between Cloud, Copper, Sutton, Taurasi, Cunningham. I mean, they got everybody on there. It's just they have nights where if they on, it's on. But then they have them nights where, you know, when you shoot.
Yeah, like against the Connecticut Sun.
See, that's I should just hang up. I should just leave you right now. Why are you truly about to just put the salt in the wound, bruh?
I had to cover. What you mean?
I know.
There's no. I had to talk about it.
I know.
There wasn't no way around it.
It's an up and down battle, man. But with this team, what I'm thankful for is they just have so much love for each other and so much energy for one another. And when they get into that rhythm, and DT be hitting, and Kalia makes you pray and bust ankles, and then you have Sophie draining from the outside.
Kalia Copper is a problem.
Look, Becky Hammond said it best. ABC, anybody but Copper. Telling you right now.
She's a problem. The fact that Sky didn't keep her bothers me.
Hey, North Philly, stand up. That's all I'm going to say.
Copper's a problem. I don't think she probably had 1 out of the 8 games she didn't score 20. I'm like, if this girl was still in Chicago, what would we be saying about the Sky right now?
We'd be talking about them. They'd be on that level. We already know.
Yeah. And when they get Brittany Griner back, But good luck. So the West is on one. There's a lot going on, and Minnesota, they did this to the Liberty. I mean, it's just if they on, good luck beating the Lynx because hell, they shot well against us, and we just had to take it. Don't worry, we had to take one on the chin too, in the same building. We had to take one on the chin too. So I mean, it is what it is. That was Friday. Saturday, we had one game Saturday, and it was the game everybody circled because guess what? It was the first meeting between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark as professionals. You had the Sky, and they was at 500 at 3-3. Somehow, Indiana, they won one game on the road. Can they win one at home? Absolutely. They did. But here's the part I want to get to first. The Commissioner Cup started with this game. So for those of you who don't know about it, Big Bro, you want to explain what the Commissioner Cup is in the W?
Sure. So it started in 2021, I believe. The Commissioner's Cup was an in-season tournament to find out which team, on the come up, on the rise, which team was going to be the best during the tournament. And as you see right here, competed for $500,000 prize. They played a certain number of games, and they're strategically spread out throughout this course of weeks. And then, as you see there, the championship played on June 25th. So they have an opportunity, the team, the organization. You get $500,000 of the prize pool, and Coinbase has put up $120,000 in crypto, which means each player then can get $5,000 in the championship game.
Last year, the Liberty won it, and we had to do it in a place last year that nobody could win it last year, and that was in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Before then, it was the Chicago Sky, right? If I remember. No, the Aces beat the Sky in Chicago.
Yep.
And then the first one was the Seattle Storm when Sue Bird was still doing her thing.
Yep.
So this is year 4 of this. And nice for the NBA to steal something from the W and not mention it.
Listen, it works. It's putting eyes on the game. It's giving an extra incentive for these athletes to go out there and perform at their highest level. Again, it's just, it's more revenue, more opportunity, and most importantly, the audience and the growth of having something like this just makes the average fan might just, when they're flipping through channels, might just stop and watch because it's like, oh, this is different. You know what I mean?
It is. And the Fever got their first Commissioner's Cup win of the season, beating the Chicago Sky. And, do you notice something on that Indiana side? Because I noticed something on the Indiana side. Something I've been waiting to see for since the season started. All 5 starters scored in double figures. Go figure.
Yeah.
When you play team basketball, things happen.
When are they? Okay, well, hold on, bro. How are you saying they haven't played team basketball?
Depending on who you ask, can be a long number.
Oh, okay.
Because a number of different ways. And one way is one of the main points people want to talk about. So let me skip past the team statistics and go straight here because, Kennedy Carter, she wanted to send a message to Caitlin Clark, and she did.
Did she, though?
Wrong for doing so.
Did she really send a message to her?
Well,
but hold on. Can it be me and you on the screen for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I want to ask this question to you. Like, real talk. Did anything that she did really send a message to Caitlin Clark? Because if this was night 1, then I could say I agree with that statement.
To me, no.
But Caitlin Clark has been in 10 games, and she has been double teamed for 10 games. And this is just par for the course. Like, here's the thing, and this is something that people who now are just starting to follow the WNBA need to understand and realize. Please allow me to elaborate. Y'all, this stuff's been happening. Okay? What you saw on Saturday between Kennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark, that's nothing compared to some of the things that have happened in this league. And I'll just take the 5 years that I've been covering the league. Like, this is nothing new. Was Kennedy Carter wrong for her action? Yes. Okay? But this is no different. I will take you back to the WNBA Finals, the WNBA Finals that I was courtside for. When Kalia Copper, then of the Chicago Sky, playing against Sophie Cunningham of the Phoenix Mercury, were going after a ball. And it was supposed to be a jump ball. And while Sophie was still on the floor, she was looking up at Kalia Copper standing over top of her. And Kalia looked at her like, if you get up. Like, so I just want people to recognize this is nothing new. But it is the fact that it's Kennedy Carter, a black woman in the WNBA, who has played for several years, going up against a young woman in Caitlin Clark, who is brand new to this league and who a lot of people are paying attention to. But that's been happening all season long. So for everybody to make this about this big thing, okay, well then clearly that just shows a difference between those of us who have been watching this league for several years versus all the newbies in the building who saw it and said, ooh, that shouldn't have happened. We can't believe she did that. Is this what the league always does? Pump your brakes. All right?
Here's my issue. Refs, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Talking about the W?
Like, I'm talking about the referees.
Well,
what are we doing? Like, come on. Like, we knew, everybody who's seen it play knew what kind of call that should have been.
Right.
And why does the league have to raise it to the flagrant foul when it's supposed to be called right on the floor to begin with? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? That should have been called a flagrant one on point. You knew the ball wasn't even in bounds when she hip checked her. So with the refs not doing their part, it's adding more to this narrative that's going on.
I will refrain from giving you my opinion on referees in the WNBA for this moment. I have had several times in my coverage of this league where I have asked myself, you, and others that exact same question. The refs in the W, I feel, need to be properly trained on the game of basketball. Not all, just some. And I'll leave it at that.
I'd be the first one to say, Kenny Carter, you was wrong for doing that. But guess what? I'm not going to argue because guess what? It's competition. I seen worse.
I've seen worse in this league. I'm trying to tell, and that's what.
I seen worse. Okay, so I'm not gonna. Hey, you was wrong for what you did. It's just the rest thing. Like I'm gonna need the rest to get it together. Okay?
But see, I'm gonna go one step further than the refs, man. Because listen, here's what I want to know. Where was her teammates?
I was gonna get to that too.
Dog, I'm telling you right now.
That's the other main point.
Where were her teammates, bruh?
Where the hell have they been for the first 10 games? Because Kenny Carter's been getting beat up.
Some of them have stepped up every once in a while. But I'm asking on this particular moment, for this particular moment, where was her crew? Because you and I both know if you and me on a team and someone come after you, hey, I see red, bruh. That's my brother right there. If one of us go down, we all go down. That's how it works. If I got to pull you up and pull this person away, whatever the case may be, whatever finna happen. But when you put a move like that on one of my teammates, yo, jersey coming off, I don't care. I'm coming off the bench. You hear me? Find me if you got to.
We can go to the Chicago Sky. Let something happen with one of them guards. You got injuries on that team, and you got Camila Cardozo on that team.
Thank you. If I'm Caitlin Clark, I do have to ask myself at least that question. I know I'm going to get double teamed. I know people are going to come after me. I know they are going to do whatever is possible because they're going to put their best foot forward and try and make a name for themselves by going after me because I'm the one. However, where's Aaliyah Boston?
That should be the first person.
She was right there she was the one inbounding the ball.
That should be the first person.
She was inbounding the ball.
Last year's Rookie of the Year should be the one setting the tone.
That's all I'm saying, bro. That's my thing. Kennedy Carter, you was wrong. I get heat of the moment. I get the play. I understand all of that. It's the level of competition. You are the best in the world. However, you did an action that was not indicative of who you are, or more importantly, if that is who you are, that's not who the league is.
I heard stories about her in ATL.
And that's fine. If that's who she is, then you know what? She embraced who she was. Okay?
Yeah. My problem with Kennedy was, why would you do that after you made the bucket? You made the shot.
In the heat of the moment. In the heat of the moment, playmaker, you know as well as I do, in the heat of the moment, sometimes our conscious mind does not filter quick enough. It's just a quick reaction. We just gonna do what we do. Okay? But I still say she was wrong for what she did. But Caitlin Clark acknowledges it and knows that this is what's going to happen. She knows. So you know what? She has got to figure out, how do I, one, not let this happen? Or number two, how do I get this to my advantage to where when things like this happen, I know my team got my back first. And then secondly, what needs to be done as far as ensuring that this doesn't happen again?
And I can
not
say
this egregious.
I can say this: if people want to, Kennedy Carter, they can, because what was the final score?
By 1 point.
Yeah, away for a ball foul led to a free throw by Caitlin Clark, who actually made the free throw.
Yep.
So if people really want to, they can use that and say, you cost the Chicago Sky again.
Oh, yeah.
And people really want to.
And people are going to say that. Here's my thing with Kennedy Carter, my brother. If you're not going to say anything in a press conference when people are asking you about the situation, then do me and everybody else a favor. If you ain't going to address it, then don't go on social media and address it. That's my problem with her right there. Kennedy Carter, please understand. If you say you through with something, if you say you done with something and you're not talking about it, then don't go to social media and talk about it. I have a huge problem with that.
See, I was going to ask if she did she really post that on social media?
Hey, her name's attached to it. Whether it was her people, her mama, her auntie, her sister, her brother, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, it was posted.
Because I was going to say, you could have said that in the press conference, because no matter what, whatever you say is going to get ran with no matter what.
Right. Everybody in there with their phones and their cameras and they laptops and tablets and whatever. So if you wanted to say it then. Don't wait till you in the confines of your own personal space and say, oh, no, I'm going to say it. No. That's what I got a problem with. I got a problem with your foul because it should have never happened. I get you was upset. That I could at least deal with because I was like, look, heat of the moment, she made a mistake. You went to the press conference and you said, I'm not discussing Caitlin Clark. But then on social media to say all she got is a 3. What else has she brought to the game? Well, no. I thought you didn't want to talk about it. I thought you didn't want to have nothing to say about this.
I'm glad you brought that question up because because it's exactly what I did. Because after that game, Caitlin Clark joined Sabrina Ionescu as the only players in their first 10 games to score 150 points, 50 rebounds, and dish out 50 dimes. So Kennedy Carter, what does she have to bring? I want you to see this graphic right here. And that should answer your question. Only one other player has done that since the WNBA has come into existence. And that's Ionescu.
There you go. So
I just want to put that right there. And before I go, I'm gonna let my brother do his thing before he gets up out of here because I know he is a busy man. Talking about me being busy, I'm just got one day of doing 3 shows. So I know this man, he got a show coming up tonight. I'm gonna let him talk about it real quick.
I appreciate you, my brother. It is always a blessing to be a part of Yo Base because I always love talking with you. It's your man, Eric Wilson from the Sports Arena. Monday nights, 10 p.m. on all my social media. You can find me at Eric Wilson TV on X, on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, the whole ball of wax. Here's what I will say. For those who have been covering the W, thank you. And those who are new to it, do your homework, do your research. Because like what this man brings to the table is something truly special. My brother, many blessings to you with regards to the W, with regards to the NFL, with regards to the NBA, man. Do your thing, handle your business. Brother, you know, if you ever need me, I'm right here with you. My man, 50 grand. Much love.
Appreciate you, bro. And as Eric signs off, I'm going to continue our recap of the WNBA because guess what? We did have games on Sunday. And when we had games on Sunday, we had 4 games and there was some battles, some blowouts in the second half. Beginning in the ATL. The Dream came off a good win against the defending champs, and they ran into the Kinetic Sun. First half was somewhat close, and then the second half, it was Kinetic's defense all over the Dream. And I got some people in the chat. Let me get to them first. Let's see. Kevin D. PRL says, as a new casual fan who watches 10 Freever games, but none last year, is Boston overrated? She just looked mid to me. Not like a rookie of the year in her second year. So Aaliyah Boston was a rookie of the year last year. And Aaliyah Boston she was pretty good. She was seeing the double teams that Caitlin Clark is seeing is what Aaliyah Boston was seeing last year. And she was still able to do her thing, become a WNBA All-Star, and become Rookie of the Year. It's just she was on a team that really didn't win any games, so that's how she got drafted to the Indiana Fever. This year, it's a lot of changes happening in Indiana. So you going from one year when Aaliyah Boston was the focal point. So you was going inside, give her post touches, let her go to work, do what she got to do. This year, you're not doing that because you have Caitlin Clark. And if you've seen Caitlin Clark play, you know Caitlin Clark with the ball in her hand. Once she get past half court, she can pull it. And it don't even matter. Which is, we want to be honestly, it's the main reason why people are so infatuated with Caitlin Clark. Not because of her skin color. It's because she has the Steph Curry-like ability to shoot the ball. Okay? You see how Steph Curry have turned everybody into want to shoot threes from all over the place because of Steph Curry? Well, Caitlin Clark is one of those players on the WNBA side who wants to shoot the ball from whenever she can because she can do so. So you have this turmoil that you was one way last year with a rookie. Now you bring in a new rookie this year, and it's a different, completely change of game that's happening right now. So Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, they need to find their group together, because if them two can find their group together, it will help Indiana become a better team. Because you have a good post player in the Leah Boston, and you have a dynamic player on the outside in Caitlin Clark. If them two can merge together and find that rhythm together, it's gonna be something special. But it's only 10 games, and you talking Caitlin Clark has been playing basketball from the month of November to now. So we talking November, December, January, February, March, April. Now we in June of Caitlin Clark playing straight basketball. Okay, she hasn't had a month off from the game, which they will come to get next month because it's an Olympic year. So hopefully they can figure some stuff out. But Aaliyah Boston she's good. It's just they got to figure something out with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark both on the same team. My boy Koo McCain, who I'll be joining in less than 3 hours to talk wrestling. So what about the TOs though? I'm not even do it. I'm not even gonna go there. He said, if I cheer for a team, they only show up half the time. I think he said, he's talking about Caitlin Clark. He said, as a point guard, Caitlin Clark should make her better. They haven't found that rhythm. They just haven't found it. And it's gonna take time. That's all it's gonna take time. I don't know how much it's gonna take, but it's gonna take time. Another point on Caitlin Carter, why her team never come to her aid or defend her. That's the question that we're asking ourselves. Especially what happened Saturday. Saturday, somebody should have stood up and said, all right, enough is enough. Okay, y'all had y'all fun beating up on her, but y'all got this beating up on Caitlin Carter starts right here. Somebody on that team need to take one. Somebody on that team gonna have to take one. It's just the way it is. Until somebody just decide, all right, I'll be the one to take it. They just gonna keep beating up on Caitlin Clark. That's what it's gonna do. But speaking of cool, your dream, they got a big win, and then they took one on the chin to the Suns, which is not a big deal because the Suns won them teams. Okay. And struggle shooting the ball, and that's how the Kinetic Suns like it. Way the Suns are built, put them in a low scoring game, it fits perfectly for them. They don't care. As you see, Carrington leading the way with 15 points along with Bonner, who had 18 to 10, by the way. Alicia Thomas only had 8 points, but gave you 14 rebounds and 11 dimes. Brianna Jones had a quiet game with 9 points, 5 boards, and 4 dimes. But even though the Suns are the lone remaining unbeaten team, the Dream out here, I'm about to keep an eye out for the Atlanta Dream because they doing some things, and I'm like, maybe look over our show if we don't need to live because the Dream coming, and that's gonna be a problem. Okay. Team statistics, I mean, what's to look at this terrible shooting by the Dream, and it happens. It happens those days and whatnot. That was game 1. Game 2, and before I get to game 2, Kevin says, I feel like this team is built to push the pace, except Boston. You may be right. I feel like once they find their rhythm, they should be good to go because that team was built around Leah Boston last year. It really was built around Leah Boston last year. So, and cool, you might be right too. The team may not rock with her. Which is, if that's the case, that's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to say if the team don't walk her, because that is pretty much the star of the league right now. Whether we like it or not, the way the media is pushing her, she's one of the stars of the league along with Angel Reese. But if y'all was happy when y'all drafted her, y'all should come to her aid. We seen the videos when that pick was announced. Y'all was happy to get that pick. So I'm trying to figure out. We're not talking Caitlin Clark Wednesday because Wednesday's all about the NBA. Because the finals start Thursday. That's why this is the all the NBA show. See, I got you. And I didn't skip comments. I went through all the comments. I showed all the comments. I didn't skip them. See that? I knew what I was doing. That's one comment I want to go discuss. That's all. And speaking of Indiana, they had to come back to the Barclays Center and they caught another 36-point beating by the Liberty. So the two out of the three meetings with the New York Liberty, they got beaten by 36 in two of them. And this is the point I was trying to tell the new people who was trying to come into the WNBA with Caitlin Clark. Like, I need y'all to understand something. Number one, Connecticut is a top 3 team in the league. Number 2, the New York Liberty is the second best team in the league. Okay. And number 3, the Las Vegas Aces are the back-to-back champions. So if you looked at the schedule, and if you did some research, did some knowledge, you might have known. Now you see why the FIBA are struggling, because the WNBA didn't do them a favor with the schedule. When your first 4 games against either the Liberty or the Connecticut Sun, is most likely you losing all 4, which they did. So it's just what it is. So when you go against the New York Liberty, Connecticut Sun, the Las Vegas Aces, just know if you're a Fever fan, a Caitlin Clark fan, it's gonna be one of those nights. And yesterday was one of those nights because Caitlin Clark only had 3 points, 5 dimes, 2 rebounds. Kia Mitchell, she showed up with 21 points. Aaliyah Boston struggled too. By the way, both Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston left the game with injuries. Don't know severity of both of the injuries. Been looking around, haven't seen any updates on the injuries or if they're gonna miss any time. I haven't seen none of that. Searched, but didn't see it. Nevertheless, when you have Benanja Laney and Hamilton going for 20, Dry Carroll Jones going for 18 and 13, Bree Stu can have a 13-point night and it don't even matter. Sabrina Nescu can have 16 points with 6 boards and 6 assists and it don't even matter because Benanja Laney went in for 20. Dry Carroll Jones gave me 13 and gave me 18 points and 13 boards. That's what I need from New York Liberty. And we starting to get our winning streak back after we dropped 2 straight. We got 3 straight back, which is good for my New York Liberty. Because I said this before, like the New York Liberty is like the only team that started from the beginning that is still around and that hasn't won a WNBA championship. And that's the fan of Antino, okay? So those of you on social media who was trying to try to call me out, just know I'm a fan of a team who hasn't won a championship. I'm going all the way back to Rebecca Lobo. She didn't leave. She was a champion at UConn. That championship pedigree didn't follow to the WNBA with the New York Liberty. Becky Hammond, who is the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces, who was a back-to-back champion as the coach, she couldn't win one with the New York Liberty during her playing career. Teresa Witherspoon, the head coach of the Chicago Sky, who said after they played and beat the New York Liberty in the Barclays Center about a week ago, she will always be a Liberty for life. She couldn't bring a championship to the New York Liberty. So those of you who are out there who are watching this and try to come for me, trying to say that I'm just talking about Caitlin Clark, no, you must understand, I am a New York Liberty fan. The only team that started from the beginning that is still around and hasn't won a WNBA championship. The LA Sparks have won multiple WNBA championships. Okay, I'm just letting you know. All right. You really want to talk about Caitlin Clark? I tell you what. Depending on how Ronda Hardwood goes, I might give you 5 minutes of that sitting to do it. Because after that, we dive into the NBA finals. Because it's too much juiciness in these NBA finals to not talk about them all. Okay, we'll figure that out. Kevin says I like Carrington's game, but me and the wife have nicknamed her LeBron James because she can flop on contact with the best of them. These days, everybody called everything a flop. You have people out here who called the hip check that Kennedy Carter did to Caitlin Clark. She was flopping. Like, bruh, she literally hip checked her. She wasn't even paying attention. So right now, until people calm down and we actually understand what a flop is, I'm gonna hold off on the word flop because for people to say that Caitlin Carter flopped because Kennedy Carter hip checked her is ridiculous because Kennedy Carter was definitely wrong for what she did. So I'm gonna calm down on the flop list for now. My man Kuz says, I think Boston is disinterested with the major decrease in her role. She went from the number one option to who knows. That may be the disconnect. Because like I said, she was the number one option last year. She was the face of that franchise last year. And you bring in Caitlin Clark. Maybe Coach Side need to have both ladies have a sit down talk and let's figure something out. Let's see how we can actually get better together. Maybe they need to do that. Don't know. Hey, this maybe that. All right. But yeah, Caitlin Clark struggled. Malia Boston got hurt as well. And yeah, 2-9. But hey, it's called growing pains, people. Name me somebody that you know from the WNBA to the NBA to even the NFL who just walked straight into their professional sport and just took over like it wasn't nothing. Please tell me. Please tell me. Because if they did, I want to know what team they was drafted at. I want to know what the roster looked like. Okay? Because it's not... Because remember, Caitlin Clark is a number one overall pick. When you're the number one overall pick in a sport, you're usually not going to a good team. You're usually going to one team that's at the bottom of the barrel, which Indiana has been for the past 3 years. They're not at the bottom of the barrel now because that belongs to the Washington Mystics at this point because they don't team that hasn't won. But for people to jump to this big conclusion that now that Caitlin Clark's in the WNBA and what the team gets her, it's over. You didn't look at the team. You didn't look at the roster. You didn't see what the team was last year. And you didn't look at their schedule coming into the year. Now we have all this complaining going on because Caitlin Clark is getting what just about everybody else gets when they come into the league. I mean, outside of Candy Carter, well, actually that happens in any sport too, to be honest. Yeah, you got to feed the beast, but hey, they got to figure that out. Coach Side needs to figure that out. Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, they need to figure that out. And like everybody else need to figure out, well, she's a rookie. This is what's going to happen. Okay? Cool says Candace Parker. You know what? You know the funny thing is, what did Candace Parker get drafted in? She got drafted to the LA Sparks. A historic franchise in the WNBA. Run Rookie of the Year, won MVP of the Year, and won the championship. I mean, you can bring up Magic Johnson. Got drafted to the Los Angeles Lakers. A historic franchise. Had Wilt Chamberlain, had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, had all this. Won a championship his rookie year. Indiana is not LA, is my point. So when you get drafted to a team like Indiana, it's going to be some problems first before their success. Larry Bird, same year as Magic Johnson, got drafted to the Boston Celtics. He didn't win it his first year because Magic won it, but guess who won it the second year? Larry Bird and Boston Celtics. It just doesn't happen that often. It's not something that's going to... You're the number one overall pick. You're the guy. You're the girl. We're going to do great things year one. No, it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't. So I'm going to need all the Caitlin Clark fans to simmer down a bit and realize it was never going to be this star-studded, spectacular showcase of Caitlin Clark from Iowa into the WNBA year one. It wasn't going to be that. It was a different level. And the fact that y'all seeing it up close and personally, and it's like, so the New York Liberty is this juggernaut of a team over here. That's the defending chancellor, and that's how. No, the Connecticut Sun. Yeah, exactly. Now y'all start realizing, wait a minute, this is a different type of basketball. Yes, it is. So now you have to really see what's going on here. But enough about that. Let me move on and get to the team statistics here. As you can see here, we shot the ball very well. 50%, 57% from the field, 44% from the three-point line. That's what we need to do. That's Liberty basketball. And we continue on Sunday because Phoenix Mercury, they got back to their winning ways. And they, speaking of rookies, Finals MVP Magic Johnson was for that championship, if I remember correctly. The Mercury got back to their winning ways, and they gave it to, speaking of rookies, they gave it to Rakita Jackson and Cameron Brett. The Sparks, they got to figure some stuff out too. You know, Cameron Brett, she is struggling on the offensive side. Rakita Jackson, her worst shooting performance of the season thus far, going 3 for 10 from the field with only 9 points. So it's Kaden Clark ain't the only one that's going through it. Cameron Brett. I don't think Cameron Brett only had like one game, maybe two, when she scored in double figures on the offensive end. Now, one of the 2 wins, she did help what she's known for, and that's defense when she blocked the shot against the Washington Mystics when the game was on the line to help seal that win. But on the opposite side, Cameron Brett's been struggling. Outside of Hamby, who's been a stud for the Sparks. I think she scored 20 points in every game they played thus far. Outside of that, Rakita Jackson will come in and give you a good 15 on good 8 on a good 8 for 12 shooting. Not against the Phoenix Mercury. And then you have Natasha Cloud going for 21 and 12 dimes. And to most people's scope of the WNBA, Diana Taurasi with 31. What do you expect? It's not just Caitlin Clark. All the rookies are struggling at this moment in time right now. Okay. Hell, the Chicago Sky with Angel Reese, they 3-4 right now. Speaking of Washington Mystics, they got Leah Edwards from UConn. They haven't won a game. Okay. Probably the only rookie that's having success is Kate Martin because he's with the defending champs. So, no, I think when they won the championship, he was the Finals MVP because I think he had like stupid numbers, especially in the set. I think he averaged like 15 assists that during Finals appearance. I know he won MVP before, but I don't think it was his rookie year. Continuing on, the Minnesota Lynx continue they went away. They are 6-2. But 11-point win of the Dallas Wings. The Dallas Wings are starting to slip a bit, you know. I don't know, they're running to the right competition right now, but Arike Gomawale, she's giving you 20 points. She's scoring at least 20 points a game, maybe 25 a game. Even though she got 21 on this one with 6 boards and 6 dimes. Well, that's the help at. Billison gave you 19 and 15, so I'll give you that, but that's not enough. You're going to get some Minnesota Lynx who are going in. LaFisha Colley, 24 points, 14 boards. Kyle McBride, 25 points. What? Do you not see what's going on in Minnesota right now? This is what the Lynx do at this moment in time. They are some bucket getters right now. And if you're not going to get buckets on them, you're going to lose. Okay? They are scoring about 82 points a game. So that means you have to put up points against the Minnesota Lynx to beat them. And when you don't, you take L's. You just taking L's. Look at this. They shot 45% from the field and 42% from 3. Even though the Dallas Wings shot 46% from the field, they shot 36% from 3. I mean, simple math can tell you, like, yeah, you gotta be on your game when you playing Minnesota. You can't be shooting in the 30s against them because they shooting in the 40s. Okay. And that would do it for the weekend recap. All right. We're going to take one final break. When we come back, I'm going to get you ready for the upcoming week in the WNBA. And we're going to get up out of here because, like I said, this is one of 3 shows I'm doing today.
And official sports gear at Liz. Liz is the leader and #1 destination for hats, gears, and everything that moves you, making it the perfect shop for fans to find official sports hats, merchandise, and gear. Represent your team, your town, and your style with a snapback adjustable fitted hat or beanie. from thousands of college and pro teams. Browse the very latest sports jerseys and t-shirts from the best teams out there. Lids has officially licensed professional and college sport team apparel and hats featuring the hottest brands and trends. Shop online or visit one of the 100 stores across the country. Locker Rooms by Lids.
I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join Ryan McCarthy
I became a Jets fan because Kurt the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
and Dustin Henry
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
as they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts.
WWE Shop is your online source for all things WWE. Be a part of the excitement and score wrestling gear for big events like WrestleMania or SummerSlam. From current superstars to legends, from Raw to SmackDown to NXT. Don't miss this chance to shop for the most awesome WWE merch. Shop for the best deals as well as WWE gift cards and save big on your favorite items. WWE Shop at Fanatics Experience.
Cool McCain.
You thought you wanted Gunther against Chad Gable, but you didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Chad Gable would take everything that Gunther's done and bury it.
The Playmaker.
It was on site. AJ Styles walked out there, seen LA Knight. Oh, okay, then we LA Knight hopped out the car. Let's go.
Break down everything in TNA, AEW, and all of the WWE programming. Join these two kings, monarchs of wrestling, live every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the Play Caller Sports Talk YouTube channel. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
All right, good people. Welcome back to Swinging Lights Out. And before we get out of here, let me get you ready for the week ahead in the WNBA because no games tonight. They'll be picked back up tomorrow. And tomorrow we got the Washington Mystics going against the Kinetic Suns. So a team has not won a game thus far this season, going against a team has not taken a loss this season. Yeah, I can pretty much believe where everybody's going to lean on that one. Yeah, how that one's going to go. That's at 7 p.m. At 8 p.m. on NBA TV, New York Liberty, we are in the Chi-Town to take on Chicago Sky. And as much as I love Teresa Witherspoon, we owe y'all an ass whooping. Y'all came to the Barclays Center and y'all beat us, so we owe y'all one. I love Teresa Witherspoon. I love Angel Reese. I love Camila Cardoso. Even though Camila Cardoso made her debut this past Saturday against the Indiana Fever and has never seen the New York Liberty yet, we owe y'all one. And I expect tomorrow night for my Liberty to get payback. Okay. And then the third game on CBS Sports Network, the Phoenix Mercury are in Seattle to take on the Seattle Storm at 10 p.m. Those are your triple headers for games on Tuesday. Let's go to Wednesday. Wednesday, we have a doubleheader. We have at 8 p.m. on NBA TV, the Las Vegas Aces. They are in Dallas to take on the Dallas Wings. I'm looking forward to see how Obrite Gumawale and the Dallas Wings take on the defending champs in their own building. I'm looking forward to that. And then at 10 p.m., the LA Sparks meet with the Minnesota Lynx out in LA. Can LA find something to get them going? Because Minnesota's coming out feeling real good. They can shoot the ball well. And if they continue to shoot the ball well, the LA Sparks are going to have a long day in their own building at Crypto.com Arena. Okay, that's Wednesday. And then Thursday, my New York Liberty taking on Cool McCain's Atlanta Dream. This should be a fun one. Wayne Howard, Tina Charles, Cheyenne Parker, Tyrus, Bree Stewie, Sabrina Nescu, Jaquil Jones. It's going to be a fun one down in the ATL. Who's going to feel good about their team coming out of this, man? My Liberty 72 feel good about them. I'm pretty sure Cool feel good with his squad being 4-3 and having a home game against the Liberty. That's at 7:30. And then also at 7 on Prime Video, the Chicago Sky taking on the Washington Mystics. Could this be the Mystics' best chance of getting their first dub at home? You got the Chicago Sky coming in with two rookie sensations and Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. Maybe can they find a way? Can they find somebody to defend and put buckets if you're the Washington Mystics, or will Chicago walk in there, get themselves upright, and get back to the winning ways? So that's it for that. And let's remind y'all, Wednesday, be ready. Cool McCain's going to hop on. We're going to see if I can get Cole Johnson in as well. But Wednesday, we previewing the NBA Finals. Dallas Mavericks, Boston Celtics. There's so much to peel in this, so many storylines in this, so much to peel to preview this series, as that series don't tip off until Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. So Wednesday, we will preview the NBA Finals, and then the day after, it will be the beginning of the NBA Finals. And speaking of finals, before I get out here, shout out to the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers of making the Stanley Cup. That Stanley Cup final will begin on Saturday. So 2 days after the NBA Finals begin, it will be the Stanley Cup Finals. That should be fun to see. I can't wait for that. Okay. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off on this one because this is the first of 3 shows I'm doing today. And about 2 hours from now, I'll be hopping on We'll Play College Sports with my man, Cool McCain, to talk about wrestling. And there's some things to discuss in wrestling right now. Some very interesting things to discuss in wrestling right now. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the Monsters of Wrestling are taking over In and Out Sports Debate tonight at 9 o'clock on the social media channel with D Willie. So that should be fun. We have D Willie, myself, and Cool McCain all in the same streaming area. So that should be fun. Okay. Until Wednesday to preview the finals, I am the Playmaker. See y'all later.
You've done great, but you can't stop here. You can't stop now. You gotta keep going. Through all your trials and your tribulations, you gotta keep pushing. Now, finish your canvas.
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud. Gotta get it out the floor. Cause that's the only way to go. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in today's episode. If you want to follow the podcast,
You can find it on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. This has been Shooting